again. Okay, I'm wanting to continue on from my last two videos where I started talking about cell memory, cellular memory, cells talking to cells, and the introduction of information regarding organ transplant. Why? Because there are so many examples in the experiences that organ recipients are having once, having this an organ like such as the heart in most cases received. They're experiencing these sort of different feelings, emotions, wants, desires and behaviours. So it begs the question, why? Why is it happening? And my understanding is that it's cellular memory, and things get passed through cells in a form of memory. So an understanding that the heart has neurons are things that send messages, that's another thing that just blows me away. So another brilliant documentary on that the other day. But anyway, just trying to stick to the point here. A book was written in 1997 called A Change of Heart by Paul Purcell. Paul Purcell is a PhD. I've got stuff written, so I'm going to read it, so I make sure I get it right, and that it's not just me. So I'll drag it over and sort of might look like I'm talking to you. Anyway, Paul Purcell, PhD, is a clinical professor at the Department of Nursing, University of Hawaii. He is an author of over 200 professional articles and 15 international best-selling books, including The Heart's Code, Broadway Books, 1998. And there's this paper that I've been going through that has all these examples of people whose lives have changed since they've had these transplants. And one in particular is one that I'd like to share with you now. The actual way this story came through is through a paper of someone by the name of Kate Ruth Linton, a university paper, and she's quoting Purcell in this, Paul Purcell, who I've just mentioned. So here's this story. I'll just tell you. Knowing by Heart, Cellular Memory in Heart Transplants by Kate Ruth Linton. Some physicians and scientists have tried to gain understanding of cellular memory through psychological, metaphysical and even supernatural terms. One can see why they would go to these unconventional lengths in order to try and explain cellular memory when faced with such disturbing incidents as this. Several years ago, an 8-year-old girl received the heart of a 10-year-old girl who was murdered. Shortly after receiving the new heart, the girl began having recurring nightmares about the man who had murdered her donor. She believed she knew who the murderer was. Her mother finally brought her to a psychiatrist, and after several sessions, the girl's psychiatrist could not deny the reality of what the child was telling her. They decided to call the police, and using the descriptions from the little girl, they found the murderer. According to the psychiatrist, the time, the weapon, the place, the clothes he wore, what the little girl he killed had said to him, everything the little heart transplant recipient reported was completely accurate. Purcell 7. That was the quote. Needless to say, the psychiatrist was eager to find any available explanation for this particular patient's experience. So, we have a little body deceased. We have a little body needing a heart transplant. Take the heart out of one body, put it into the living body, and messages gets passed through to the living body. So there have been so many documented examples of this, and I think that there may be a lot of people who don't want to accept this information, which I get. However, I just don't think it can be dismissed, because in this particular book, I think they interviewed over 74 donor families, and the stories that have come through are just amazing. You know, I won't bore you with reading them, but they are just amazing. So understanding that cellular memory exists in so many different ways, then when we're born, the cells in our body, before we're born, the cells in the womb are taking on information that are coming in through the cells surrounding it as cells change according to their environment. So it's all to do with how the mother's feeling at the time, what's going on in the family at the time, but it's also to do with her cells and her memory from previous things happening in her life and experiences. And then also the father's, because a child's made up of both, and then this child comes out into the world with all this memory going on. This isn't making sense probably, but I just find it fascinating, and I think that having an understanding that this exists, well, memory can be changed, Yay. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you, and it's gone 6 minutes, so I should stop. So I'm going to cut it off now. No. Talk to you later. Bye.